welcome everyone in the room and online to this anniversary event of 3IE. And thank you to CGD and Amanda and her team for agreeing to co-organizing and hosting this event celebrating 3IE's 15th anniversary. It was natural for us to reach out to CGD, given this long-standing, 15 years or more, relationship between our two institutions. And most importantly, given our joint mission to improve the use of evidence to inform decision-making in international development. Or, to say it and to put it quite simply, better use of better evidence for a better world. While we have called this an anniversary event, this will not be a celebration of what we have achieved all together with our partners over these 15 years. Rather, it will be an earnest but hopefully productive exchange about what we absolutely need to do next, because the situation calls for urgent action. You might have read, I'm sure you have, over the last year or more, that the pandemic, compounded by the Ukraine war, climate change, they all have adversely affected lives of people globally. We're still learning the extent of these impacts, but several international organizations have sounded the alarm. Here's a few data points to help you contextualize this. So, on hunger, from the World Food Programme, we know that more than 345 million people face high levels of food insecurity. And this is, by the way, more than double the number in 2020. On poverty, according to the UN Human Development Index report, we know that human development has regressed globally. 90% of the countries have fallen behind on life expectancy, education, and economic prosperity. On education, the number of children in lower middle income countries who are unable to read and understand a simple text by age 10 is now close to 70%, which is up from 57% pre-pandemic. So these are just some examples of recent data that have pretty much one thing in common. They show that the situation for many fellow citizens in this world is critical and has worsened over the last years. And then that's one set of numbers. So let me refer you to another set of numbers. Access to relevant, practical, digestible evidence has improved a lot over these 15 years, as Amanda already alluded to. The body of effectiveness studies increased from just a few hundreds in the early 2000s to over 11,000 impact evaluations and another 1,000 systematic reviews that are now searchable in 3IE's Development Effectiveness portal. And 3IE and similar organizations have developed portals, help desks, and tools to rapidly synthesize and translate existing evidence for implementers and decision makers. So really, the body of evidence that can inform decisions has increased dramatically. Yet, the good and timely use of this evidence continues to be really challenging. And one key challenge identified by the working group report that Amanda talked about, that CGD convened and 3IE also was happy to take part in, is that multilateral and bilateral development institutions often lack institutional incentives, consistent signals, and role modeling from leadership on the importance of learning and evidence use. And to quote the report, professional success is still too often measured by project approval and disbursements, as opposed to learning from, acting on, and sharing of evidence. Evidence use needs to be planned for and woven into the institutional culture. I believe that we can do better and that it is incumbent upon us to do so. And for that, we have to share and learn from each other, others' experiences, and our trials and errors. And with that, it is my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Elon Goldfein, who's president of the Inter-American Development Bank. Mr. Goldfein was elected IDB president in November 2022 and has already impressed many of, and myself included, by his clear signaling on the need to prioritize development effectiveness. Mr. Goldfein has a long and distinguished career. He has, among others, previously served as director of the Western Hemisphere Department at the IMF and as governor of the Banco Central do Brasil. In 2017, he was elected Central Banker of the Year by the Banker magazine. The year after, Global Finance magazine named him the best central banker. Mr. Goldfein also has extensive private sector experience as well as an extensive academic career. So, President Goldfein, the stage is yours.